GFCI receptacles do have a higher failure rate than standard receptacles, but it is still relatively low. Research suggests the failure rate is around 1% to 5%. This means most GFCI receptacles will function reliably for many years. To properly test GFCI receptacles on two-wire systems, a two-wire GFCI tester is needed. These testers simulate a ground fault by creating a small imbalance in the current flowing through the hot and neutral conductors. If the GFCI receptacle is functioning correctly, it should trip and stop the flow of current. Installing multiple redundant GFCI receptacles is generally not necessary. However, it does provide an additional layer of protection. If one GFCI receptacle fails, the others will still be able to detect ground faults. Using GFCI receptacles on a two-wire system is significantly safer than the original two-wire cloth cable wiring. The GFCI receptacles provide protection against ground faults, which can be dangerous and cause electrical fires. However, it is important to note that GFCI receptacles do not provide protection against overcurrent or short circuits. It is recommended to test all GFCI receptacles regularly, either monthly or quarterly, to ensure they are functioning properly. Also, ensure that all GFCI receptacles are installed correctly by a qualified electrician. While GFCI receptacles provide adequate protection, it is still advisable to consider rewiring the house to modern grounded three-wire wiring for optimal safety and reliability. Let's delve deeper into GFCI receptacles, focusing on their operation and best practices. A GFCI, or ground fault circuit interrupter, is a safety device designed to protect people from electrical shock. It works by monitoring the current flowing to and from an electrical device. If there is a difference of even a few milliamps between the outgoing and returning current, it indicates that some of the current is leaking to ground, possibly through a person. The GFCI quickly trips, cutting off the power and preventing a potentially fatal shock. In a standard grounded electrical system, a ground wire provides a safe path for stray current to return to the electrical panel, tripping a circuit breaker. However, in older homes with two-wire systems, there is no ground wire. This is where GFCI receptacles become particularly important. When installed in a two-wire system, a GFCI receptacle does not provide a ground connection. Instead, it provides ground fault protection by constantly monitoring the current balance. Even though there is no ground wire, the GFCI can still detect a current leakage and trip, providing a significant level of safety. Regarding testing, a GFCI tester works by creating a small imbalance between the hot and neutral wires. When the test button is pressed, a small amount of current is diverted, simulating a ground fault. If the GFCI is working correctly, it should trip within a fraction of a second. It is important to test GFCI receptacles regularly, as they can fail over time. The recommended testing frequency is monthly. To perform a test, simply plug in the GFCI tester and press the test button. The GFCI should trip, cutting off power to the receptacle. To reset the GFCI, press the reset button. If the GFCI does not trip when the test button is pressed, or if it trips immediately after being reset, it may be faulty and should be replaced. Redundant GFCI receptacles, while not strictly necessary, can provide an extra layer of safety. If one GFCI fails, the other can still provide protection. However, it's more important to ensure that all GFCI receptacles are functioning correctly and are regularly tested than to rely on redundancy. When comparing the safety of GFCI receptacles on a two-wire system to the original wiring, it's important to understand the limitations. The original two-wire system provides no ground fault protection whatsoever. In the event of a ground fault, there is a significant risk of electrical shock. GFCI receptacles provide a substantial improvement in safety by detecting ground faults and tripping the circuit. However, they do not protect against overcurrents or short circuits. Therefore, it's still important to have properly sized circuit breakers to protect against these types of faults. When installing GFCI receptacles, it's crucial to follow the manufacturer's instructions and local electrical codes. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it's best to hire a qualified electrician. It's also important to use the correct type of GFCI receptacle for the application. There are different types of GFCI receptacles designed for different environments, such as wet locations. While GFCI receptacles provide a significant improvement in safety in older homes with two-wire systems, they are not a substitute for a complete rewiring. Rewiring the house with modern three-wire wiring provides the best level of safety by providing a dedicated ground path. If rewiring is not feasible, GFCI receptacles are a good alternative. However, it's important to understand their limitations and to test them regularly. Furthermore, consider arc fault circuit interrupters, or SIs. SIs protect against arc faults, which are a common cause of electrical fires. Arc faults occur when there is an unintended electrical discharge between two or more conductors. SIs can detect these arc faults and trip the circuit, preventing a fire. While GFCI receptacles protect against ground faults, SIs protect against arc faults. In modern homes, both GFCI and SI protection are required in many circuits. In older homes, adding SI protection can further improve safety. When considering electrical safety, it's also important to pay attention to the condition of the wiring. Older wiring can become brittle and cracked over time, increasing the risk of electrical shock and fire. If you notice any signs of damage to the wiring, it's important to have it inspected by a qualified electrician. Also, avoid overloading circuits. Overloading a circuit can cause the wires to overheat, increasing the risk of fire. Be sure to use the correct size extension cords and avoid plugging too many devices into a single outlet. Grounding is a critical aspect of electrical safety. Grounding provides a low resistance path for fault current to flow back to the source, tripping the circuit breaker or fuse and preventing electrical shock. In a properly grounded system, metal enclosures of electrical equipment are connected to ground, so that if there is a fault, the current will flow to ground instead of through a person. Bonding is another important safety measure. Bonding involves connecting all metal parts of an electrical system together to create a common electrical potential. This helps to prevent voltage differences between different metal parts, which can cause electrical shock. Surge protection is also important to protect electronic devices from damage caused by power surges. Power surges can be caused by lightning strikes, utility switching, or other electrical events. Surge protectors divert excess voltage away from electronic devices, preventing damage. Regular electrical inspections are essential to ensure the safety of your home's electrical system. A qualified electrician can identify potential hazards and recommend corrective actions. Electrical codes are constantly evolving to improve safety. It's important to stay up to date on the latest codes and to ensure that your home's electrical system complies with these codes. Here are some additional points to consider regarding GFCI protection in older homes. Firstly, it's essential to ensure that the GFCI receptacles are properly labeled. If the GFCI receptacle is protecting other outlets downstream, those outlets should also be labeled as GFCI protected. This helps to inform users that the outlets are protected by a GFCI and that they should test the GFCI regularly. Secondly, it's important to consider the location of GFCI protection. GFCI protection is typically required in areas where there is a risk of water exposure, such as bathrooms, kitchens, and outdoor areas. However, it may also be beneficial to provide GFCI protection in other areas of the home, such as bedrooms and living rooms, especially if there are young children or elderly individuals living in the home. Thirdly, it is worth noting that GFCI receptacles can sometimes nuisance trip. This means that they trip even when there is no actual ground fault. Nuisance tripping can be caused by various factors, such as electrical noise or faulty appliances. If a GFCI receptacle is nuisance tripping, it's important to investigate the cause and correct it. Fourthly, it's also important to consider the type of wiring in the home. If the wiring is old and brittle, it may be more prone to ground faults. In this case, it may be necessary to replace the wiring to improve safety. Fifthly, another important consideration is the use of extension cords. Extension cords can be a source of electrical hazards if they are not used properly. Avoid overloading extension cords and do not run them under rugs or furniture. Regularly inspect extension cords for damage and replace them if they are frayed or cracked. Sixthly, electrical safety is not just about GFCI protection. It's also important to practice safe electrical habits. Always turn off power before working on electrical equipment. Never touch electrical equipment with wet hands. Keep electrical appliances away from water. Teach children about electrical safety. Seventhly, consider the benefits of having a whole house surge protector installed at the electrical panel. This device can protect all of your home's electrical devices from power surges. These devices work in conjunction with point-of-view surge protectors to provide comprehensive surge protection. Eighthly, understand the limitations of GFCI protection. GFCI protection is designed to protect against ground faults, but it does not protect against all electrical hazards. It does not protect against overcurrents or short circuits. It also does not protect against electric shock if you come into contact with both hot and neutral wires at the same time. Ninthly, consider the benefits of having a professional electrical safety audit performed on your home. A qualified electrician can inspect your home's electrical system and identify potential hazards. They can also recommend corrective actions to improve safety. Tenthly, stay informed about electrical safety. Read articles, watch videos, and attend workshops to learn more about electrical safety. The more you know about electrical safety, the better equipped you will be to protect yourself and your family from electrical hazards. 11thly, it's crucial to use the right size and type of circuit breakers for the wiring in your home. Using circuit breakers that are too large can overload the wiring and cause a fire. A qualified electrician can determine the correct size circuit breakers for your home's wiring. 12thly, always make sure that electrical outlets and switches are properly covered. Exposed wiring can be a serious shock hazard, especially for children and pets. Replace any broken or missing outlet or switch covers immediately. 13thly, be cautious when working with electricity near water. Water is a good conductor of electricity, so the risk of electric shock is much higher when working near water. Never use electrical appliances near water sources such as sinks, bathtubs, or swimming pools. 14thly, it's important to remember that electrical work can be dangerous. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it's best to hire a qualified electrician. Attempting to do electrical work yourself without the proper knowledge and experience can be hazardous. 15thly, consider upgrading your electrical panel if it is old or outdated. Older electrical panels may not be able to handle the demands of modern appliances and electronics. Upgrading to a new electrical panel can improve the safety and reliability of your home's electrical system. 16thly, always use caution when using power tools. Make sure that the power tool is properly grounded or double insulated. Wear safety glasses and gloves to protect yourself from injury. 17thly, teach children about the dangers of electricity. Explain to them that electricity can be dangerous and that they should never touch electrical outlets, switches, or wires. 18thly, it is important to avoid running extension cords across doorways or walkways. This can create a tripping hazard and damage the extension cord. If you need to run an extension cord across a doorway or walkway, secure it to the floor or wall to prevent it from being tripped over. 19thly, be careful when plugging in appliances that draw a lot of power. These appliances can overload the circuit and cause a fire. If you are not sure whether an appliance is safe to plug into an outlet, consult with a qualified electrician. 20thly, always disconnect electrical appliances before cleaning them. This will help to prevent electric shock. 21st, always remember to call 8.11 before you dig. This will help you to avoid damaging underground electrical cables. 22nd, remember that proper installation is key. Ensure the wiring is properly connected to the terminals, the receptacle is securely mounted in the box, and the cover plate is installed correctly. 23rd, inspect the physical condition of the receptacles periodically. Look for cracks, loose connections, or signs of overheating. Replace any damaged receptacles immediately. 24th, consider using tamper-resistant receptacles, especially in homes with young children. These receptacles have a built-in safety mechanism that prevents children from inserting objects into the slots. 25th, for added protection, consider installing arc fault circuit interrupter, or SI, breakers in your electrical panel. SIs detect arc faults, which are a common cause of electrical fires. 26th, consult with a qualified electrician for any electrical work beyond your skill level. Electricity can be dangerous, and it's always best to err on the side of caution. 27th, keep a list of emergency contact numbers near your electrical panel, including the number for your local fire department and a qualified electrician. 28th, have a plan for what to do in case of an electrical fire. This includes knowing how to shut off the power to your home and how to evacuate safely. 29th, regularly inspect your smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors to ensure they are working properly. These devices can save your life in the event of a fire or carbon monoxide leak. 30th, be aware of the signs of electrical problems such as flickering lights, burning smells, or sparking outlets. If you notice any of these signs, call a qualified electrician immediately.